Welcome back to the Chamber Connection, brought to you by Windstream. Appreciate Windstream so much for allowing us to have this show. Wanted to remind everyone to look on our website, visit blairsvillega.com. We have a lot of great events going on right now. We've got the farmers market. There's always outdoor concerts and activities, concerts at the courthouse. Also, for Chamber members, we've got our Power Lunch coming up. Commissioner Chris Carr is going to be our keynote speaker, so check out our website and be sure to register for that. My second set of guests today, they're with Habitat for Humanity, Townsend, Union County. Brian Thomas, appreciate you coming on. And Brian, you are the Executive Director.
I am.
Okay.
I'm responsible for the day-to-day operations of the affiliate.
Great. And Richard Daves, thank you so much for coming on. And what is your position with Habitat for Humanity?
I'm the president and chairman of the board. My responsibility is for governance and fundraising.
That's great. We'll appreciate you both coming on today, and we're so excited to have you as chamber members as well. So tell us, recently you did a dedication for a family of a house that was just completed. Can you tell me about that?
We just did our dedication for our 16th family. We have been here 19 years and our 16th family, so we're very excited about that. And we're getting ready to start our 17th home.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Yeah. So now how does the family get chosen to be the family to receive the Habitat for Humanity house?
We take actually applications. We will have notices in the paper and flyers around the community. We look for people who are deserving, who are living in substandard housing, who might not be able to qualify for a retail mortgage for what they need, and we build a house for them. They contribute 150 hours of sweat equity in the home, working on it, and then we sell it to them at cost and provide them with an interest-free mortgage, and then the money that they pay back to us goes back into the pot for building more housing.
That is really great. I did not know that. That's a wonderful program, and so basically it's paying it forward for the next people that need a house.
And it's not. There's a misconception with a lot of people that it's free. We're not giving away anything.
Right.
We're offering them an opportunity.
Right, which is great. Helps them get on their feet, and I know the families very much appreciate it. Yes. So now the recent one that was just finished, the Say family. So tell me, I know that means a lot to them when the families come to you and say, we have a need for this, and then to see the end of it. I mean, I know that's very heartwarming for you guys. Richard, I don't know if you wanted to share a little bit about how that is for you.
This last go-around with the Say family was probably the most rewarding thing that I've done in my lifetime. Seeing this young lady and her family participate, Brian said 150 hours of sweat equity. She put probably 150 hours of sweat equity in a month.
Oh my goodness.
mean, she was there every time that we were there. You would drive by at 10 o'clock at night and the lights would be on and she'd be in there painting and caulking and doing stuff, and it's just one of the most amazing young ladies I've ever seen.
That is wonderful.
And giving her keys to the house last Saturday was just as I said, the best thing I think I've ever done.
That is fantastic. I know we have a few pictures to share with our viewers, so appreciate Windstream putting those up there. And thank you for all that you guys do. Now tell me, start to finish with the build, how does it get started? You have contractors that come in and help with that, and you've got volunteers. What's kind of the process that you go through?
It's a little different here than it is in some other places because the typical volunteer we have here is older. They're typically retired.
Right.
When I volunteered with Habitat, I worked in construction for 30 years. When I volunteered with Habitat in other places, it was usually 35 or 40 or 45-year-old volunteers. There were people who did it for a living.
Sure.
Up here, I get 60 and 65 and 70 and 75-year-old volunteers.
Wow.
So we have to kind of alter the way that we do it. We use a few more subcontractors than we would normally. But we have a very dedicated group, and we're interested in keeping them engaged. They're very good people, and they enjoy being out there. They enjoy giving back to the community, so it's a big deal for them, too.
Sure. Yeah, it absolutely is, and we appreciate all that you guys do. Now tell me, what do you see, Richard, as the vision going forward for Habitat for Humanity here?
Well, as Brian said, we have our 16th family in 19 years. It's a little under one house per year. With the poverty and the substandard housing that's endemic to this area, we want to bring it up to at least 2 houses a year. That issue, that effort requires a cash flow of approximately $200,000 a year.
Wow.
Because again, it's a hand up, not a hand out.
Sure.
Okay, and we need to be able to bring in that much cash. this community is very small. Even if you include Hiawassee or Towns County and Union County together, our current set of volunteers, or last set of volunteers, even came down from Clay County. And the charity pot is just not that large. So our revenue stream that comes in, which is all of our partner families' mortgage payments, which is principal and taxes and insurance. That tax insurance goes right out to State Farm or whoever and to the county they live in. But the principal is required by Habitat International to be put back into new housing. And so we need, and that brings in, probably 25% of that $200,000 nut. And we need to make up the rest of the other 75% with fundraising. That's our biggest issue is
fundraising.
Is to get to that stuff, and in keeping our churn of volunteers too. I mean, the churn is the improper word, but keeping our volunteers coming and so forth. Our volunteer board of directors, when I took over the board a year ago, the average age was my age, pretty close to 70, and maybe some older than that. And we've had the good fortune of coming in contact primarily through the chamber with a lot of really good, smart, younger people and so forth. We've recruited a lot of them to our board and so forth, and so we feel our board is enriched with a new energy and so forth. So we're hoping that $150,000 will come.
That's fantastic.
Come pretty easily.
Well, that's great. And I know that you guys have been working hard not only helping to build the house, but with doing fundraisers. I know that you had the Toolbox Bash recently. And then one of our chamber members, American Catch, they've done several fundraisers. Can you tell me a little bit about what they've been doing for you guys as well, Brian?
Yeah, we have once a month, typically the second Tuesday of every month, we have what we call the Habitat Diners Club, and we will choose a partner with a local restaurant, and if you go there and have dinner, then they will contribute a portion of the proceeds to Habitat. And we try to deal with all the local people. We deal with American Catch and Mike's Seafood and Chops and a whole assortment of other restaurants around. And we try to vary it so that everybody gets a little something out of it. And it supports our community and they support us.
Right.
And Matt Leonard's been very generous to us.
That's
He's a great partner.
That is
great
wonderful.
partner.
I'm so glad to hear that. I know he's doing a great job there with American Catch and then owning Huddle House as well. He's got a lot on his plate, but appreciate him so much. So tell me, going forward, do you have any additional fundraisers that people can contribute, or if they wanted to just donate to Habitat, how would they do that if they want to? And I know you've got a restore as well, so you take items at the restore, and that would help to raise funds that people could come in. It's like a thrift store, and people can purchase items, or...
It's an antique store.
It's an antique store! Oh!
We specifically will tell you it's not a thrift store.
Oh, it's not. I apologize.
It is not a thrift store. There are plenty of thrift stores around. We carry actually very nice used furniture and appliances.
Wonderful.
Typically, we will have a few building materials. We have a very small store. We're looking to expand that, but we have to carry the things that we actually make the best money on. So it's typically upholstered furniture and actually quite a few antiques that people will give to us, will donate to us. All of that money goes to support Habitat. We are looking at some additional fundraisers in the near future, and we'll get back with you on those as soon as we kind of nail those down.
That's great.
We also have another program we're looking at starting up called Helping Hands, and I will freely admit that I stole it from up here in Blue Ridge. But he actually, I think, borrowed it from someone in the Midwest that he had spoken with. It's in addition to what we're doing with building new homes for people. We want to help people maintain homes, maybe folks who are on a fixed income and have a little extra cash flow but don't have the cash to go out and lay down a large chunk of money to do something for their house. So if they need the front porch replaced, or the back deck replaced, or the house painted, or some grading done, that sort of thing, or possibly a roof, we will come in, we'll bring volunteers, we'll do that sort of thing for them, and we'll set them up. If they can afford somewhere between $50 and $100 a month for a payment, we will set them up on the same program that basically Habitat set up, an interest-free loan, and they have to contribute, they have to help with some of it, even if it's just feeding us when we're out there. But we will set them up on the same program that we do with a regular mortgage, and they can pay it off over the course of a couple of years. And it gets us more involved with the community. And instead of just doing one big project a year, we're looking at doing one big project and 8 to 10 smaller ones every year.
That's a fantastic program for our community. I can see a lot of people being very interested in that, taking advantage of it. So thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
for having the vision to bring that. That's going to be very exciting. So when is this Helping Hands project going to start rolling out?
We're actually looking at kicking it off. We're going through the marketing materials right now and trying to get all the rules down. It's a brand new thing, so it's going to take a little work. But
Sure.
we already have a couple of people who have expressed interest in helping us help them with their homes, and we're trying to just kind of nail down all the details right now.
Part of what Brian is saying about setting the rules down is very important. Habitat for Humanity has very specific rules as to how you market to people who need new homes,
Right.
and that's going to carry over to how you market to people who need, just repairs done and so forth. You have to do it in such a way that you don't give any idea about discrimination or anything like. So that's why we have to advertise for it. We have to accept applications. We have to see who's qualified to handle it and so forth, and make sure that we do not cast any discrimination. In fact, the federal government's got laws,
Right.
Fair
Right.
Housing Act and so forth that we have to comply with. So
Right.
we're the fourth largest home builder in the country.
I think it's the sixth right
Sixth
now.
largest home builder in the country, and we build all over the world.
That is so exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think Habitat International, I think I read, started in the 70s, so it's been around for a
Yes.
very long
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
It helps a
Started
lot
in
of
Americus,
people.
Georgia, and is now they still have big offices down there, but the main part of it's in downtown Atlanta.
Wow, that is so
Yep.
exciting. Now tell me a little bit about how each of you got involved in Habitat. What kind of drew you to, and how long have you been involved in Habitat?
I was in the residential building business for about 30 years, and I volunteered with Habitat when I was doing that in both Atlanta and in Charleston when I was there. And my career went down the tubes along with a lot of other people's in the late 2000s, and I ended up doing something I hated for a couple of years, and I owned a piece of property up here, decided I would just move here and see what happened, and I literally stumbled across the opportunity to open the Restore for them, and I felt called to do that, and after a year I was starting to look for another job because I needed to make more money, and they came to me and offered me the opportunity to be the executive director.
That's great.
Which is kind of the perfect job for me. It pays me just enough to get along, and I have such a great time, and I find it so incredibly gratifying that I just can't imagine doing. So I intend to do this for the rest of my working life, which
That's
hopefully
great.
will be another 10 or 12 years.
That is great. We appreciate all that you do. That's wonderful. So Richard, tell me a little bit about your story.
Well, I retired from a job in a nonprofit in Florida that I worked at for about 30 years doing substance abuse treatment, and came up here to put my feet up and my head down and relax and do some fishing and so forth. And that was 2 years ago this month, as a matter of fact. And then somehow I was dragged kicking and screaming into Habitat, and I find myself thoroughly engaged.
That's wonderful.
And still not fishing.
Still not fishing.
Yeah, we keep you pretty busy with chamber
That's right,
activities
we
too.
do.
We appreciate you always helping us with that. I don't see you being a guy just to prop your feet up, and
No.
that is
Not
not
happening.
you. No, it's not happening. So, well, thank you both so much for coming on the show today. I cannot tell you how much we appreciate our communities, towns in Union County, for having Habitat. What you do is it's priceless. You can't put a price on giving somebody a safe, wonderful place to live. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for coming on. I look forward to having you
for
guys
having
back
us.
Thank you.
sometime. Give us an update on how
will.
things are going. So thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Regina Allison with the Blairsville Union County Chamber of Commerce. Have a great day.